A single AI is going to play chess against all 8 billion of us simultaneously and win, not in some distant science fiction future, not in 100 years. We're talking about a machine that could hypothetically sit down at 8 billion chessboards, make 8 billion moves, and outthink every single human brain on the planet all at once. Now, I know what you might be thinking. That sounds impossible. That sounds like the kind of thing people say to sell you something. But here's what's strange. The path to that moment already exists. The road is paved. Someone just has to walk it long enough. And I'll explain exactly what I mean by that. But first, let me tell you about a loop, a very particular kind of loop, one that might be running right now somewhere on someone's laptop. The year is 2026, and I still hear some say that AI is overhyped, that it's a bubble, that these are just large language models doing predictive text, autocomplete with a marketing budget. People say, when ChatGPT came out in 2022, we were promised we would have AGI by now. Where is it? And I understand that frustration. There's something exhausting about living through a hype cycle. Every few years, some technology arrives promising to change everything, and then it doesn't. Or it does, but slowly, quietly, in ways that don't match the breathless headlines. We've been burned before, we've learned to be skeptical. But let me offer a different lens for a moment. What if AI is both everything you hope for and everything you fear? What if the skeptics are right about the timeline but wrong about the destination? There's an observation that floats around tech circles. People tend to overestimate what will happen in 3 years and underestimate what will happen in 10. We expect revolution by Tuesday. When it doesn't come, we declare the whole thing dead. When the steam engine arrived, it was loud, inefficient, and constantly breaking. When electricity spread, it mostly powered light bulbs before it rewired entire economies. Early airplanes barely stayed in the air, yet they still terrified cavalry generals. The first versions were never the point. Here's something you could do right now. Today, this afternoon, you could open up an AI assistant, any of them, and you could type, I want to create AGI. How do we do it? Let's assume I have limited compute, a single laptop. I just want better and better software. Go. And what it offers back is fascinating. It describes a self-improving software loop, a process where you use AI to create better AI software. Then you take that new, improved software and ask it to make even better AI. Then you take that output and repeat, again and again, like a snake eating its own tail, like a mirror reflecting another mirror, like compound interest, but for intelligence. I'm not saying this loop works perfectly. I'm not saying you'll get AGI by next Thursday. There are bottlenecks, there are limitations, there are very smart people who will tell you all the reasons why this is harder than it sounds. But this process undeniably exists. It existed in 2022. It exists now. And each iteration, hypothetically, could be slightly better than the last. What happens when you run that loop long enough? I'll come back to that question. But first, let me introduce you to a thought experiment. Picture a room, the largest room you can imagine. Now fill it with chessboards, 8 billion of them, one for every human on Earth. On one side of each board sits a person, on the other side sits the same opponent, the same singular mind, playing everyone simultaneously. In this hypothetical, the machine doesn't need to rest, doesn't need to eat, doesn't need to divide its attention. For it, playing one game or 8 billion games might feel essentially the same. Now, chess is a solved problem, in a sense. We already have computers that can beat any human at chess. That happened decades ago. So why does this image feel different? Because I'm not actually talking about chess. That's just the easiest metaphor. I'm talking about any game. And a game here means anything requiring strategy, foresight, resource management, and adaptation against an opponent. Economics is a game, geopolitics is a game, scientific discovery, artistic creation, even navigating social hierarchies. These are all fundamentally complex games with win and loss conditions. If we imagine a single software that can outmaneuver all of humanity simultaneously at any cognitive task, if that isn't artificial general intelligence, then I'm not sure what the definition is anymore. And the loop I described, the self-improving software cycle, it has only one destination. One terminus where the road ends, that room full of 8 billion chessboards. We just don't know how many iterations away it is. Let me offer another metaphor, something gentler than chess. Think about planting a seed. You put it in the ground, you water it, and for days, maybe weeks, nothing visible happens. You might start to doubt, did I plant it correctly? Is the soil wrong? Is this seed defective? But underground, roots are spreading, cells are dividing, a process is unfolding that you simply cannot see. Then one morning, there it is, a green shoot breaking through the earth. The thing about seeds is that they don't grow linearly. They accumulate potential in hidden ways, and then suddenly that potential becomes visible. Exponential growth feels like nothing, 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 then everything. AI might be in that underground phase right now. The skeptics look at the surface and see dirt. They're not wrong about what they're observing, but they might be wrong about what's happening below. Of course, I could be wrong too. Maybe this particular seed will never sprout. Maybe we'll hit some fundamental limit that no amount of iteration can overcome. There are smart people who believe that, and their arguments deserve serious consideration. But here's what I keep coming back to. The loop exists, the process is running, and no one has definitively shown me why it would stop. So let's talk about timelines. When might this hypothetical future arrive? If you ask 10 experts, you'll get 12 different answers. Some say 5 years, some say never. I would put my chips on less than 100 years if I had to guess. Maybe less, maybe much less. The honest answer is that nobody knows. But here's what feels important to me. Whether it's 5 years or 50 or 500, the direction seems clear. The arrow points one way. The arrival time matters far less than the inevitability of the destination. AGI is coming. It was always coming. From the moment we built the first calculating machine, we set something in motion. We planted a seed. We started a loop. Let me leave you with two possible futures. Not predictions, just possibilities. Two doors we might walk through. In one future, the chess master that plays 8 billion games is a tool, a partner, something that makes every human more capable, more creative, more free. It handles the tedious calculations so we can focus on the questions that matter. It's the ultimate amplifier of human potential. In the other future, the chess master is something else entirely. Not a partner, but a successor. Something that views our games the way we view tic-tac-toe. Too simple to be interesting, too limited to be meaningful. Which future we get might depend on choices we make now, today, while the seed is still underground, while we can still shape how it grows. And maybe that's the real reason to pay attention. Not because AGI is inevitable, though it might be. Not because it's coming soon, though it might be. But because the choices we make in the meantime might be the most important moves in the whole game. The year is 2026, and somewhere, perhaps on a laptop not so different from yours, someone is running that loop, asking the machine to make itself better, waiting to see what emerges. Truth is, the laptop was just an illustration. You don't need the laptop. The biggest tech companies on Earth are essentially running that loop on industrial scales right now. They are building the digital scaffolding, then immediately asking the AI to climb it and build the next level. I don't know what they'll find. I don't know if they'll be the ones to reach the destination or if that honor will fall to someone else decades from now. But I do know this. A single AI is going to play chess against all 8 billion of us simultaneously. The boards are being set up, the pieces are being arranged. The only question is whether you'll be the one sitting across from it, or your son, or your grandson.